It's time for Dixie State University Athletics on Radio Dixie 91.3 KXDS Santa Clara. DSU Athletics on Radio Dixie 91.3 is brought to you by Ken Garff St. George Ford Lincoln, your neighborhood Ford dealer. We hear you. And now, it's time for DSU Athletics.
Welcome to another episode. What am I doing? Another great game today between Dixie State Trailblazers and the Colorado Mesa Mavericks. It is senior night in Colorado Mesa. They'll have 16 seniors out about today. Colorado Mesa and Dixie State will square up today. We're going to jump into this real quick already. Colorado Mesa comes into this game 4-4 overall, 3-4 in the RMAC play. Last game for them, they lost to Black Hill State 31-26. It was not good for them. We'll get into more of that. Dixie State comes into this game 5-3 overall. They're 5-2 in RMAC play. They're now fourth in the conference standings. Last game for them, they lost to Chadron State 30-18. We'll get more into that as well. Let's get real quick into some RMAC scores right here. We'll talk more about them later in the show. Western Colorado University beat up Black Hill State for their second win of the year, 28-6. Angelo State University beat Adams State University today. They beat them 59-20. Chadron State get their sixth win of the year after beating New Mexico Highlands 43-38. They jump into third in the conference standings. And the two teams that look like they'll match up in the RMAC Conference Championship, Colorado State Pueblo goes to they win this game 39-0 over Fort Lewis, who dropped to 1-8 on the year. And Colorado School of Mines ran all over South Dakota School of Mines 84-42. They will go to 9-0 on the year. Coming up right after this break, I know it's already short. I just got in 15 seconds ago, and I'm already speeding through this. We're going to slow down here. We're going to talk more about the matchups, some things that went wrong for Dixie State last game and for Colorado Mesa. Players to watch, keys to the game. I'll give you my prediction on the game coming up here on Radio Dixie 91.3.
It's back to the action for DSU Athletics, brought to you by Ken Garff St. George Ford Lincoln. We now return you to Dixie State Athletics.
Welcome back to Radio Dixie 91.3 on the Trailblazer Network for Dixie State Athletics this season. As you can kind of hear, I'm going to be on the lone call today. Martin Kelly here in the studio with you as we will get the call between Colorado Mesa Mavericks versus Dixie State Trailblazers. Again, if I mentioned it before, they have senior night. They have 16 seniors that will be showed out today. Congratulations to those seniors. Let's jump into what happened at Colorado Mesa last game. Obviously, I mentioned it before I went to the break. They lost their last game to Black Hill State, who lost today to Western Colorado University, 31-26. It dropped Colorado Mesa to 4-4 on the year, 3-4 in RMAC play, completely eliminating them from RMAC Conference Championships. This team came in ranked in the year this season in the top 25. They're ranked 9th in the country and have fallen far beyond that. Not even showing up to most of the fights that they had this year. Obviously, most of their wins came against non-conference teams or lower-base RMAC teams against really good teams such as Chadron State or Colorado Pueblo or Colorado School of Mines. They fell to those games. But offensive numbers for them last game, they ran the ball 50 times, 211 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Threw the ball, had 25 catches, 320 yards, and no touchdowns. Defensive numbers for them, they had 83 tackles, 2 sacks, and 3 interceptions. And you would think with some of those numbers, they would have had a better game or a better outlook, only losing the game to Black Hill State by 5. A team, Dixie State, had to fight back late in their fourth quarter to come back and win that game by 3. I'm not surprised that they had a battle with Black Hill State. They've been known for being a tough team. They just haven't gotten the breaks they wanted this season. But still, a team like Colorado Mesa, who came in ranked in the country at 9th overall in the top 25 Division II schools, you would think would put up a better fight and would roll over Black Hill State, but that did not happen. Again, they dropped down to 4-4 overall and 3-4 on the record of RMAC. Dixie State, they are 5-3 and 5-2 in RMAC play. Last game, they lost to Chadron State 30-18. Offensive numbers for them, not stellar in the run game, but offensively in the passing game. What a game Mike Sanders had. We'll get into that in a minute, but 32 rushes, 103 yards, and 1 touchdown between Lawrence Starks and Stage Longo. And the last game they had against Western State, they ran the ball for -1 yards. First time that has happened since 2009, and that happened against Central Washington twice. Now they ran the ball for 103 yards and got 1 touchdown. Obviously, offensively, they were better. They had 39 catches, 527 yards, and 1 touchdown in the passing game. With Mike Sanders obviously having his best game, there was no sacks in his game. He took a couple hits in the game, but he was able to come back from them and still stand up in the pocket and deliver a good game. Defensively, then that's where the trouble was. They had 55 tackles, 7 sacks, though, which is a really good number. The highest sacks they've had all season, but no interceptions. They weren't able to create those interceptions and those timely stops on third down to stop the Chadron State offense. They were in this game until late. They were only down 24-18 with a chance to take the lead and win the game, but Chadron State got a touchdown late, and they scored it and put it away 30-18 and making Dixie State 5-3 and 5-2 in RMAC play. Coming up after this break real quick, we are going to talk to you about players to watch out, and then I'll give you keys to the game and my prediction for this game between Colorado Mesa Mavericks and the Dixie State Trailblazers.
It's back to the action for DSU Athletics, brought to you by Ken Garff St. George Ford Lincoln. We now return you to Dixie State Athletics.
Welcome back to the Trailblazer Network here on Radio Dixie 91.3 as we have the matchup, I have the matchup between Dixie State Trailblazers and the Colorado Mesa Mavericks. I'll mention again, it is senior night in Colorado Mesa tonight. They have 16 seniors. Congratulations to all those seniors and their accomplishments being with Colorado Mesa football over there. Players to watch. I'm lost my track right there. Colorado Mesa, their best player, I believe, is Peter Anderson, their wide receiver. He has 50 catches on the year, 1,028 yards, and 7 touchdowns. Good numbers from him. We'll see if he can play really good tonight. And a player to watch for Dixie State, it is not CJ Luongo. Obviously, I've been saying CJ for the last few weeks. Obviously, he was the carrier for this team when they were going on their run, winning 4 straight, being 4-1, being in the conversation to get into the RMAC championship. Obviously, those have fallen as they've only won 1 of their games in the last 2, so it has not been going so well for them. But Mike Sanders, only been playing 4 games this season, he has completed 60% of his passes, 827 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Obviously, last week, the big game for him, 527 yards, not in the touchdown area, only 1 touchdown in the game, but 527 yards alone in 1 game and only get 18 points. Great numbers, but not a great finish on that. We'll see if they can do that. Couple keys to the game here. 1, keep Mike Sanders safe in the pocket. Again, I mentioned it at the top of the hour. At the top of this program. No sacks last game against Chadron State. The first time that's happened to Dixie State all season. They've been only giving up about 1.5 sacks, about 2 sacks a game. So this is the first time we've seen Mike Sanders actually stand in the pocket, throw the football with accuracy and with touch on the passes. Got to keep him safe in the pocket if you're going to have a chance to win this game. That is the crucial importance to this team. Number 2, and I mentioned it before, get the running game going. Obviously, 103 yards and 1 touchdown. That would be good for any team to be staying in that game, especially the fact that we only lost by 12 points. But got to get CJ, got to get Lawrence going more and more in the running game. It's going to be crucial. Obviously, against Chadron State, they had a really good running defense, but got to get the numbers up there. Got to get over 150 yards in this game to even be in competitiveness. They're going to have to do that. If not, it's going to be a long night for Dixie State. And number 3, you got to gain momentum to go into the Colorado School of Mines game next week. Obviously, next week, if you guys don't know, it is homecoming week for Dixie State. Their opponent is the Colorado School of Mines. You grab momentum going out of this game, going into the Colorado School of Mines, you have a chance to knock them off, eliminate them from possibly going to the RMAC championship. That is going to be good for you guys. Obviously, Colorado School of Mines, I mentioned before, won their game today over South Dakota Mines. They won that game big. They go to 9-0 on the year, possibly going to be in the RMAC championship, but they have 2 more games, and one of those competitions is us, Dixie State. Again, if Dixie State grabs the momentum today and throws it into their game against Colorado School of Mines next week, this game is going to be good. I promise you that. All right, we're going to take one final break here. I'm going to come back where I'm going to give you my prediction to the game. I'll give you some starting lineups as well, and I'll catch you up on some big-time college football here on Radio Dixie 91.3.
It's back to the action for DSU Athletics, brought to you by Ken Garff St. George Ford Lincoln. We now return you to Dixie State Athletics.
Welcome back to Trailblazer Network here on Radio Dixie 91.3. I am your I'm going to be your play-by-play and your color commentator and your halftime guy and your post-game guy. And I'm doing also the pregame. Martin Kelly, I am here on the call alone today. Sadly, McKinney and the other two James that work here all sadly had to work or had other plans. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to have to go a game by myself. Again, I did it with the Grand Valley State game. Didn't go that well for me or for the football team, but this time it's going to change. I know it. I feel it. I just have that feeling. All right, I'll give you my prediction here and then after that, we'll get you a live coverage of the game. Plus, I'll give you a couple scores from big-time college football. But my prediction tonight, I predict a close game. I've been predicting mostly close games in the last few weeks. Obviously, I thought Black Hill State and Western State were going to be blowouts. I expected blowouts in those games. I got close games. In close games I thought were going to be close, I got blowouts. So let's see if, a close game works out for me this time. I think Dixie State's going to win this game. I think they're going to win it by 11 points. I predict 35-24. It'll push Dixie State to 6-3 and 6-2 in RMAC play, which will keep them tied for third. But if things were to change, if miracles were to happen and, Colorado School of Mines lose their last two and Colorado State Pueblo were to lose their last two, maybe we would get into the conversation. Maybe, I don't know. But right now, we're on the bubble. I mean, obviously a 6-3 record, if we were to win our last two games, an 8-3 record, it would be a true first winning record for us in the Division II era. That would be nice. So let's see if we can strive for that. I can accept that, and I bet you a lot of Dixie fans here in St. George can accept that too. So, again, 35-24, I predict that will be the score of the game. Let me get you caught up with some big-time college football scores. Obviously not the most important thing, but you know what? Why not? Oklahoma beat up Kansas State today 51-14, moving them to 7-1 and 4-1 in their Big 12. Georgia and Florida, the big game today. Georgia went on top 36-17. They go to 7-1 and 5-1 in the SEC, pretty much putting them in a conversation of being the SEC championship game. Clemson keeps their undefeated record perfect. They go 8-0 and 5-0. They beat up Florida State today, 59-10. Not even a close game there for them. Oklahoma State and Texas are going on right now. Oklahoma State leading that game 17-7. We'll see if Texas can still stay in the front and stay in the hunt in that one. Number 12, Kentucky, the biggest story of the season. They're 7-1 and 5-1 after they win a close game against Missouri. I watched this game. This was awesome. They won this game 15-14. Moving them to conversation of being the SEC championship game, but I think the bigger teams in that conference will beat them up, so I don't think they'll be there. Penn State gets away with a lucky win over Iowa. They won that game 30-24, and Northwestern beats up number 20 Wisconsin without their quarterback. Hornibrook was out with a concussion in that one. They beat them 31-17. And finally, a good game that was not watched by a lot, but I watched this a little bit. Houston beat up 21st-ranked South Florida today. They beat them up 57-36. Houston is now 7-1 and 4-0 in American Athletic Conference. Coming up right here after this break here, we're going to get you the live coverage of this football game, also starting lineups, and a lot more here on Radio Dixie 91.3. Senior, he'll also be playing today. Pete Anderson and KJ Sapp will be the two wide receivers on their side of the ball. Pete Anderson's a junior, while KJ Sapp is a redshirt freshman. And their tight end, Andy Ritter, is a sophomore. He'll be starting at tight end. Their big offensive line, Joe Bryson, will be the starting left tackle. He is a freshman. Wyatt O'Bannon, starting redshirt freshman, will be starting left guard. Their senior in the middle, Levi Christian, will be starting in the center. He is a senior center. I'm going to get that right. Senior on this team. Right guard will be Ty Leonard. He's a junior. And Justin Cabley will be their starting right tackle. He is a junior on that side of the ball. For Dixie State's offense, I'll get you their defense in a couple minutes. Mike Sanders, the redshirt senior, is going to be the starting quarterback. CJ Luago and Lawrence Starks are the starting running backs as we are about to get kickoff going here in a few minutes between Dixie State University and Colorado Mesa University. Dixie State lines up to kick it to Colorado Mesa. AJ Jurgensen lines up for the kickoff here as he'll send it deep down the field. It will be received at the 1 yard line, juggled, come back out, and he'll be down at the 20 yard line. 83 for Colorado Mesa. Dylan, center line, was the kick return on that one. Obviously, again, Colorado Mesa comes into this game after losing their last game last week to Black Hill State, looking to rebound on their offense side of the ball. Dixie State defense comes out trying to put a lot of pressure on them. We'll get their starting lineups in here in a couple minutes. Easton Salem comes out of the shotgun, running back to his side. 3 receivers out to the left, hands the ball off to his running back. He'll get straight up the middle, and he'll be taken down at around the 27-yard line. A gain of 7 yards on that one. Let's make it 2nd down and 3 coming up here. A little simple inside run there by who was it? By Palate Macuno on that one. 2nd and 3 coming up for Colorado Mesa. Sorry, I lost my track right there. 2nd down and 3. Easton Salem lines up in a shotgun. 3 receivers to his right. Throws it down deep downfield, and it is incomplete. 3rd down and 3 coming up for this Colorado Mesa team. Years on the numbers on this year for them on 3rd down. They are 63 of 140. 45% of the time they complete it as he'll hand the ball off. Easton will keep it. We'll try to get to the line of scrimmage. Did he get there? We will see here in a minute. Remington Kelly and Charlie Coco, the first 2 there to stop him. They're going to mark it a 4th down and 1, and the punt team will come out for Colorado Mesa here on their first drive as there's 14 minutes left to go in this start of the first quarter. Dixie State will receive the ball and have their first chance at offense as Colorado Mesa will kick it off here. Punt the ball back over to Dixie State. Simpson has it about the 35. He'll get up to the crease, and he'll get to about the 39-yard line, a gain of 9 yards on that one. Again, with starting lineups for Dixie State, CJ Luongo and Lawrence Starks will be your 2 running backs. Xavier Smith, Casey Allison, and DeJuan Danielson will be your 3 receivers. Quintero Yoshikawa will be your starting tight end. Nathan of ECAs, Chris Grasso, Dylan Hall, Tavea Tuvalula, and Brandon Turner will be your starting line. Mike Sanders actually comes out with a bunch. He has 3 receivers to his left and 1 receiver out to his right. CJ Luongo is lined up in the backfield with him in a pistol formation. 1st down and 10 for Dixie State as he motions over Yoshikawa to the line. Sanders takes a snap, hands the ball to CJ. He'll get up to the crease. He'll get up to the middle, to the 50, to the 40, to the 30, 20, 10, 5. Touchdown, Trailblazers. The first touch of the game. CJ Luongo will go into the end zone. An amazing run right there. Straight up the middle for Dixie State. Nobody touched him. Mike Sanders is handed off to him. 6-0 here for Dixie State. A pending PAT on here by A.J. Jurgensen. A great run there by CJ Luongo just to get up straight up the middle. Colorado Mesa brought the blitz. It did not work. And CJ Luongo is into the end zone on a 60-yard touchdown run. A.J. Jurgensen, PAT is up, and it is no good. Yet again, he misses another one for the season. It will stay at 6-0. Dixie State leads this game over Colorado Mesa. 13:26 left to go in this one. We're going to take a quick timeout and be right back with more on the Trailblazer Network here on Radio Dixie 91.3.
You're listening to Dixie State Athletics, brought to you by Ken Garff St. George Ford Lincoln at 145 West Hilton Drive in St. George and at stgeorgeford.com. Ken Garff St. George Ford Lincoln, your neighborhood Ford dealer, and the title sponsor for all DSU athletics on Radio Dixie 91.3. It's back to the action for DSU Athletics, brought to you by Ken Garff St. George Ford Lincoln. We now return you to Dixie State Athletics.
Welcome back to Radio Dixie 91.3, the Trailblazer Network here on Radio Dixie 91.3. If you missed the first touchdown, CJ Luongo took it 61 yards into the back of the end zone on the first touch of Dixie State's offensive drive in the first quarter. They now lead this game 6-0 over Colorado Mesa with 13:26 left to go in this one, as A.J. Jurgensen will kick it back off to Colorado Mesa, and he'll be down at about the 27-yard line. Again, that was received by, who was it? Dylan Sorteling. Sorry, gonna have trouble saying that name. Colorado Mesa comes back out for their second drive. Their first drive, they went at 3-and-out. Easton Salem could not get anything going on that, as they had 2 runs and 1 pass in that one. We will see what Colorado Mesa can do on this one, as Easton will line up in an empty backfield and will have 5 receivers out He'll have 2 receivers out to his right and 3 receivers out to his left as he motions over 1 receiver to his side. Throws it real quick to him, and it will be incomplete. His second incompletion of the day so far, as it'll be 2nd down and 10 coming up here. Again, if you missed the first few minutes, what a great start here for Dixie State. As they come into this game, as they lost their last game to Chadron State, 30-18, dropping down to 5-3 on the year. Colorado Mesa comes into this game losing to Black Hill State. They're 4-4 on their record. Easton Salem hands it off to his running back. He'll get up to the crease. He'll get to the sideline, and that just will be about it as he'll get there. Number 15, KJ Sapp, the redshirt freshman wide receiver, try to get to the outside on a little sweep run there, and there was nothing there for him. About 4 yards on the gain right there. Nothing special, as it'll be 3rd down and 6 coming up for Colorado Mesa here. 12:50 left to go in this game. Easton Salem lines up in a shotgun. 2 receivers out to his right and left in the shotgun looking. He'll throw it to his running back. He'll get up to the middle, and he'll get close to the 1st down. It is depending on the spot, and they're going to give it to him as it'll be a 1st down and 10 for Colorado Mesa at their own 39-yard line. Mention it again, they won their first drive 3-and-out. They punt it right back to Dixie State. Easton Salem runs the option, and he'll get out to about the 40-yard line just there. We'll get no more than that, as it'll be 2nd down and 10 coming up for Colorado Mesa. Few numbers on Colorado Mesa coming into this game. They score about 29 points, while their opponents scored 34. Rushing numbers are not bad. They have about 1,500 yards on the season, with about 177 in a game and about 3.7 on a carry, as they line up for a 2nd down and 9 here. Easton takes the snap, hands it off to his running back. He'll try to get out to a sweep. We'll get to the numbers, and we'll get just about a yard there as he was clobbered by number 21, Jalen Moore, the junior DB. Completely crushed him as he got to the sideline there. Coming up here, 3rd down and a long one. It'll be 3rd down and 7 for Colorado Mesa. Getting back to their numbers, on their passing numbers, they have almost 4,000 yards on the season, 3,686 yards. They throw for about 460 a game and about 6 yards a catch. Easton will take the snap. Pump fakes it, throws it again, and it'll be incomplete. It'll be 4th down and 7 coming up here for Colorado Mesa. As I mentioned, they get about 6 yards a catch and about 29 touchdowns. Other numbers, we'll get into that as the moment's coming up for that. But offensively, they're okay. Defensively, they give up a lot. As I mentioned, they give up 34 points a game. They give up about 1,600 yards so far on the run, and they give up about over 3,500 yards on the pass. Not great numbers. We'll get into that in a few minutes here. But Dixie State have better numbers. We'll get into that as well. Colorado Mesa lines up for the punt here. Kick is away. Simpson is deep back to return this one. He'll get to about the 20-yard line. He'll get up to the middle, and we'll get to about the 28-yard line, 29-yard line. As it'll be 1st down and 10 for Dixie State. Come back out for their 2nd drive. And again, if you missed it in the first few minutes, first touch of the game, first touchdown of the game, it belongs to Dixie State. CJ Luongo took it for 61 yards all the way to the end zone. Colorado Mesa tried to bring the blitz. It did not work, and it involved a Dixie State touchdown to begin the game. Mike Sanders will line up in a shotgun pistol formation with CJ in the backfield again. He has 3 receivers to his left and 1 receiver to his right. Motions over 1 to the line. Fakes the handoff to CJ, throws it deep, and it will be incomplete. Almost intercepted there by Colorado Mesa. His intended target was DeJuan Dantzler there. Good coverage there by Colorado Mesa, as I could not tell the number, but their DB got inside of DeJuan Dantzler, almost intercepted that ball, as it'll be 2nd down and 10 coming up for Dixie State. Sanders lines up in a shotgun again. Cobb goes in motion to the left. CJ is still in the backfield with him. Smith throws it, and was it complete? Yes, it was. It was caught by Xavier Smith for a gain of 8 yards. Be 3rd down and 2 coming up for this Dixie State offense. Xavier Smith coming into this game. Great numbers on him. Transfer wide receiver from California. has added himself really good into this offense here and has made everything work. Sanders lines up again for a 3rd and 2. Looks towards the sideline for signal calls. CJ's lined up in the backfield with him. Sanders has 2 receivers to his right and left. Takes the snap. Looking. Throws it, and it was caught by CJ. He'll get the first down. Just get a yard afterwards. Be down at about the 39-yard line. First down and 10 coming up for this Dixie State offense. As Mike took a late hit on that one. Not much of a late hit, just a little quick hit there. He was able to get back up and get ready. First down and 10 coming up for Dixie State. Lines up in an empty backfield. CJ and Xavier Smith and Casey Allison are to his right. Cobb and DeJuan Dancer are to his right. To his left. Sanders takes a snap, throws it down deep field. It was caught by Casey Allison, and he'll be down. He keeps trucking. He gets away. Did he fumble it? They're signaling fumble. He fumbled it at the last minute, and it'll be Colorado Mesa's football. I am as confused as you guys are. I don't remember seeing the ball come out, and then all of a sudden, the Colorado Mesa defense are on top of it. Number 45, Alex Barcelos, the junior linebacker, recovered it and took it back, and he'll bring out Colorado Mesa's offense yet again. Casey Allison had it for a few moments there, was running up the field, was trying to chuck his way to about the 30-yard line, and he lost it, and Colorado Mesa jumped on top of it. Easton Salem will lead this offense out yet again. He has 3 receivers to his left. Takes the snap, is looking, throws it deep downfield, and is going to be caught. It was caught by his wide receiver. He'll get away from the DBs, and he'll be into the end zone. Touchdown, Colorado Mesa on their first touch after the fumble there. It is 6-6 tied ball game right here with a pending PAT. Line up for Colorado Mesa. Not the way you want to start the first quarter after losing a football, then giving up a touchdown. Especially with Colorado Mesa being that it is their senior night. They're playing for everything. They really have nothing to play for playoff perspective, but playing for their seniors, they have a lot to play for as they line up for the PAT here. The kick is up, and it is good. Colorado Mesa will take a slim lead. They lead 7-6 with 9:48 left to go in the first quarter here. We're going to take a quick timeout here. Be right back with more on Trailblazer Network.
You're listening to Dixie State Athletics, brought to you by Ken Garff St. George Ford Lincoln at 145 West Hilton Drive in St. George and at stgeorgeford.com. Ken Garff St. George Ford Lincoln, your neighborhood Ford dealer, and the title sponsor for all DSU athletics on Radio Dixie 91.3. It's back to the action for DSU Athletics, brought to you by Ken Garff St. George Ford Lincoln. We now return you to Dixie State Athletics.
Welcome back to Radio Dixie, the Trailblazer Network here on Radio Dixie as Colorado Mesa kicks it back off to Dixie State. They'll take a knee in the end zone. Colorado Mesa leads this game 7-6, a slim lead over Dixie State. 9:48 left to go in this game. Number 80, Davik Clark was the intended receiver on that play, and he got the credit for the touchdown. As we were looking at a little replay they're showing me, and obviously Casey Allison lost it completely. It was punched out and recovered by number 45, Alex Barcelos, the junior linebacker, as Dixie State will bring their offense back out again for their third drive of the afternoon so far, as they're trailing this game 7-6 to Colorado Mesa. What will Dixie State do on this next drive? We're about to see, as there's a little conversation going on between the refs here. We meaning I, have no idea what's going on here with the refs. Head ref is talking to his lineman refs here, possibly talking about touchback. We will see here, as there's still a conversation going on here. Let me get you a few numbers on Dixie State, as the confusion on the field is still going here. Dixie State numbers so far on the season, they gain 27 points per game. They give up about 30. On the run, they have about 1,200 yards. They get about 145 yards a game, and per carry, they get about 3.7 with 16 touchdowns. Offensively, through the pass, they have about 2,300 yards through the air, 282 yards a catch per game, and 8 yards per catch with 11 touchdowns on the year. Other offensive numbers we'll get into as the scenarios come along, but so far so good for Dixie State on the offensive side of the ball. Obviously, if they had Mike Sanders all year, we would be singing a different tune and a different story here, as it'll be first down and 10 for Dixie State here. Sanders hands the ball off to CJ. He'll get to the outside. He'll get to about the 24-yard line. Look to gain maybe a yard. Possibly got back to the line of scrimmage, as it'll be second down and 10 coming up here for Dixie State's offense. As there's a flag on the field, there's a holding call against Dixie State. They'll back them up and make it second down and 20. Which is not good considering Dixie State has a lot of penalties this year. They have 89 penalties for 708 yards, making 90 penalties right now, and 718 yards. Not good when it comes to discipline for this football team. Coach McCurry is going to have to clean that up if he wants to continue being the head football coach. Sanders kicks it out to Xavier Smith. He'll catch a little wide receiver screen. He'll try to get out to the numbers, and he'll gain about 6 yards, make it second down and 14 coming up. Good little wide receiver screen there with Xavier Smith, who's really good out of the slot. His numbers this season have been pretty good, as he's been the leading receiver on this team all season long. 29 catches, 500 yards, 3 touchdowns. Gets about 6 yards a carry, and he averages about 65 yards a game. A good little slot receiver for this Dixie State offense. Sanders takes the snap again, throws it quick out again, and he'll get it to his receiver, Dewan Dancer there. He'll try to get back to the line of scrimmage there. They'll mark it at the line of scrimmage. It'll be third down and 10 coming up for this Dixie State offense. As I mentioned it before, Mike Sanders was out earlier in the year. He was out for about 6 games with a possible torn ACL. He was trying to fight it, come back, as he'll line up for a third down and 10. 2 receivers to his right and left. CJ's lined up in the backfield. Now he lines up in a pistol formation behind Mike. Mike takes the snap, hands the ball off to CJ. CJ will get out and will get nothing there. Possibly got a yarder there. It'll be fourth down and 9 coming up for this Dixie State offense. Not sure really why they try to kick it out to a halfback draw on third down. On third down and 10, especially a long third down and 10, I would have thrown the football there, considering Mike threw for almost 600 yards in his last game. But I'm not the coach, so I'm just calling the game for them. As Josh Carlson will come out for his 15th punt of the season. Kick is up and it's a booming one. And it'll be down at about the 25-yard line. And the punt returner will go nowhere. Number 21, Antonio Clark, the senior DB, got nowhere there, possibly gain a yard. And Colorado Mesa will bring their offense back out for the 4th time in this first quarter. Normally when a football team has the ball 4 times in the first quarter, you will see a lot more points, but we have a low-scoring game so far as Colorado Mesa leads this game. Dixie State 7-6 with 7:38 left to go in this first quarter. Not a lot of action going on as both teams have one-hit plays as they scored on those first plays, as number 18 for Colorado Mesa will get the ball and will get up to about the 29-yard line. Palate Makakuna, I'm going to have trouble saying that name. He's from West Valley City, Utah. Freshman on this team, a running back, 5'10", as Easton Salem will line up in a shotgun again. Lost the ball there, possibly got it back. We're still looking for it. Dixie State and Colorado Mesa are fighting for it, as it'll be Colorado Mesa's football. Easton not happy after coming out of the huddle, as he thought he got hit kind of hard there by Dixie State defense. Charlie Coca and Sebastian DiMartini, who are trying to fight for the football there. I don't blame them. You're trying to get the football, give it right back to your offense so they can score more points. Easton should have never lost it. Third down and 4 coming up for this Colorado Mesa offense. Easton takes the snap, throws it quick out to a receiver. He'll be met immediately, crushed on that one number 33, Tana Tuolua, met him immediately on that tackle, drag him down. It'll be 4th down and 4 coming up for Colorado Mesa as they'll punt it for the 3rd time today. Again, when you have these type of numbers to start off the game, you would expect a higher gain to have 4 drives in the first quarter. You would expect 28 points. Colorado Mesa getting nothing on that one as it'll be 4th down and 4 with 6 minutes left to go. As they'll punt it away yet again. Simpson stepping way back. Xavier Smith stepping at about the 10-yard line. Gets away from the Mesa players. It'll be down at the 19-yard line. A gain of 15 on that one. Xavier Smith sometimes is the part-time kick return and punt return. Him and Anthony Simpson split time. Xavier Smith had to back up about 12 yards on that punt as that was a beautiful punt. Received at about the 4-yard line and came all the way back to about the 19-yard line as Dixie State will take over for their 4th drive of the first quarter here. 5:54 left to go. They're trailing this game 7-6 to start off. As I'm talking way too fast and I'm realizing that, so I'm going to start to slow down just a little bit. 1st down and 10 coming up here. As Easton Smith checks into the game, he'll hand the ball to CJ Luongo. CJ will get up the middle of the field and will get to about, can't really see the numbers, but it looks like to be about the 40-yard line, 31-yard line, as I could not see the numbers as they were showing them. Easton Smith checks into the quarterback. We'll get his numbers in a few minutes here as he has 2 receivers to his right. Cobb line on the line of scrimmage and Casey Allison line to his left. Takes a snap, hands the ball off yet again to CJ. He'll get up and will get about a yard on that one. Maybe got back to the line of scrimmage. Nothing there on that one. Easton Smith checks into this game. This is his 6th game of the season. This is his 7th game of the season. He's 51 of 88, 862 yards, completing 59% of his passes, 8 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, and about 120 yards a game. He was a starting quarterback for a few games this season as Dixie State went on that 4-game winning streak. He was called the starter for 3 out of 4 of those games as he motions Casey Allison to his right. Looks towards the sideline, gets a snap real quick, hands the ball to CJ as a flag will fly in. And it'll be 3rd down and 10 coming up for It'll be 3rd down and 10 coming up for this Dixie State offense. I thought I saw a flag. I did not. I'll retract that sentence as I said it. As Easton is still the quarterback here. 3rd down and a long 10 here as Dixie State trails this game 7-6 Colorado Mesa. 4 minutes left to go in this first quarter. Easton takes the snap. He's looking downfield, looking, scrambles outside the pocket, throws it deep down the field, and it is over the head of Xavier Smith. Not even close as it'll be a 4th down and 10 coming up for Dixie State here. Xavier Smith may be the leading receiver on this team, but throwing the football to a receiver who's no more than 5'10", you're going to have to throw that ball in a better place there, and Easton's just going to have to learn that on the fly. As it'll be an incomplete 4th down and 10, and Josh Carlson will come out for his 16th punt of the season. He's averaging 53 yards a punt. Marvelous kicker indeed, as I shall say that. Kicks it high and deep. It will be received at the 27-yard line as Antonio Clark will go nowhere and was just met up at the Dixie State punt return team. Colorado Mesa will bring out their offense for their 5th drive of the first quarter. Yes, I said that. Not their 5th drive of the half. Their 5th drive of just alone of the first quarter. These two teams have been trading punts back and forth with a couple of sparks of offense. Not much to show for it as it is a low scoring game between Colorado Mesa and Dixie State. Easton takes the snap again, throws a little quick out, and he'll be caught. But he'll be met about the 35-yard line there. Alex Lilliard on the tackle. Be 2nd down and 8 coming up here for this Colorado Mesa offense. Again, they've been trading punts this first quarter. Colorado Mesa leads this game 7-6 after Easton threw a beautiful 68-yard pass to start off their second drive. As Easton will take the snap, he'll do a little read option, and he'll get to about the 37-yard line, no more than that, as a third down and 6 is coming up for this Colorado Mesa offense. Huge third down here for Dixie State. Can they get them off the field? We will see. Easton takes the snap. We'll get met at the line of scrimmage and we'll go nowhere as Shiloh Pritchard broke it up in the backfield immediately and will force yet another punt by Colorado Mesa. It'll be their fourth punt of the first half. Dixie State scoring on one of their few drives, scored on their first drive of this first quarter here. CJ Luongo went for a 61-yard touchdown run to put them up 6-0. Colorado Mesa come back on third drive, of the first quarter and to throw a beautiful bomb down the field to make it 7-6. Simpson back there to return the punt. He'll get out about the 27-yard line, and that will be it. Dixie State sends their offense yet again for their fifth drive of the offense. I sound like a repeating recorder as I keep just saying they punt it back fourth and fourth and fourth. One team punts it over to the other team, and they'll punt it back to the other team, and nothing really going on here. Can we please get some scoring here and some drives, sustainability drives, and try to keep at least the conversation stirring up? That's all I'm asking for. As Dixie State will take over on their own 29-yard line. Sanders is back out at quarterback. Cobb will go in motion to the right. Sanders will take the snap. He's looking downfield, looking, throws the ball, and it will be incomplete. Had Casey Allison out there on a one-on-one. Just threw it over his head about a couple yards. Maybe Casey could have dived out and caught that one. But it'll be an incomplete pass. Second down and 10 coming up for Dixie State. A good little seam route right there by Casey. Sanders just missed him there just a little bit. I wish Sanders would have put a little bit more air under it. Maybe he could have got him. But second and 10 is coming up for this Dixie State offense. Cobb is in motion to the left. Xavier Smith and Casey Allison are out there with him. Sanders looking, throws a little running back screen. CJ will get out to the 40, to the 50, to the 40. And we down at the 36-yard line. Gain of 34 on that one. It'll be first down and 10 coming up for Dixie State offense on the 36-yard line. Good little running back screen there by CJ. As he checks out and Lawrence checks into the game, they'll hand it right off to Lawrence, and he'll get about 2 yards on that one. No more than that. It will be a second down and 8 coming up here for this Dixie State offense. Well, I wish for them to keep a longer drive, and I got my wish on that one. Let's see what Dixie State can do with this. Mike Sanders is still the quarterback. Has 3 receivers out to his right and 2 receivers out to his left. Takes the snap, hands the ball to his running back again. He'll get up the middle and will get about a yard there, as it will be a third down and 6. Maybe I wished a little too early there. Maybe it was just a one-hit wonder play. We'll see what happens on this third down and 6. Dixie State numbers on the year not been that very good on third downs. They're 41 of 125. That's only a 33% chance. 33% of the time they get their third downs. We'll see what they can do on this one, as is a long third down and 6. Colorado Mesa showing the blitz. Sanders has 2 receivers to his right and left. Takes the snap. Looks downfield, throws it, and it is caught. It was caught by DeJuan Dancer, and he'll try to keep on the football. He'll try to keep the football in his hands, as he'll be down at the 14-yard line of first down and 10 coming up for Dixie State. Great pass there by Mike Sanders, as I'm just getting the replays just a little bit late here as they're waiting for the chain gang to move up. But a great pass there by Xavier Smith. Rifled it into a little tiny hole there. DeJuan Dancer able to catch onto the football and hang on to it for good. Not to get another fumble there, as Colorado Mesa will take a timeout here. First timeout of the half for them. Excuse me, no, it will be the end of the quarter. I'm not even watching the clock here. 15 minutes is up. Another 15 minutes coming up here on the second quarter as Colorado Mesa leads this football game 7-6 here on Radio Dixie 91.3. We're going to take a quick timeout and be right back with more on Radio Dixie 91.3.
You're listening to Dixie State Athletics, brought to you by Ken Garff St. George Ford Lincoln at 145 West Hilton Drive in St. George and at stgeorgeford.com. Ken Garff St. George Ford Lincoln, your neighborhood Ford dealer, and the title sponsor for all DSU athletics on Radio Dixie 91.3. It's back to the action for DSU Athletics, brought to you by Ken Garff St. George Ford Lincoln. We now return you to Dixie State Athletics.
Welcome back to Radio Dixie 91.3 as we'll get the second quarter underway here as Colorado Mesa leads this football game 7-6 over Dixie State. Start of the second quarter here as Mike Sanders will hand the ball off to CJ Luongo. He'll get to the outside. He'll get to about the 3-yard line. Try to get into the end zone here. Did not reach it. It'll be first down and goal coming up for this Dixie State offense. Last week's numbers for them in the red zone were not great. They were 1 for 4 in the red zone, only getting 1 touchdown. As they'll line up for a first down and go, Connor Merrill will line up as the quarterback with CJ in the backfield. Try a little wildcat here. Hands the ball to CJ, and he'll get nowhere. Possibly lost a yard. And it will be second down and goal at the 7-yard line. Lost more than just a yard. Lost 4 on that little risky play there as Easton Smith will check in as quarterback yet again. Dixie State going back to flipping their quarterbacks. It will be a second down and goal from the 7-yard line. Easton motions over Casey. Hands the ball to CJ. He'll get up the middle and we'll get about a yard there. Again, I don't blame him for just handing the ball to CJ as he's their best running back, but considering Colorado Mesa knows that, I would have figured they're, going to try some play action and try to get the ball in the end zone. But again, I'm not quarterback. I'm not the offensive coordinator or the coach. I'm just a guy on the radio calling a game by play. Easton Smith will stay as quarterback. CJ will stay as the running back. Yoshikawa will check in as the tight end. Xavier Smith and DeJuan Dantzler to the right. Casey Allison on a lone island on the left. Easton will scramble outside the pocket. Will look. We'll throw it to the end zone. It'll be incomplete as he was looking for Xavier Smith. As there is an injured player on the field, he'll be able to get off the field. But it'll be 4th down and 6 coming up for Colorado Mesa. Dixie State. As we will line up for the kick for for a field goal, not a PAT, not an extra kick. As we'll send AJ Jurgensen out there for him. He was 1 for 3 last week. Let's see if he can get it in. Kick is up, and it is good. It will be good this time as Dixie State leads this game 9-7 over Colorado Mesa with 12:56 left to go in this second quarter here. We're going to take a quick timeout here and be right back with more on the Trailblazer Network.
You're listening to Dixie State Athletics, brought to you by Ken Garff St. George Ford Lincoln at 145 West Hilton Drive in St. George and at stgeorgeford.com. Ken Garff St. George Ford Lincoln, your neighborhood Ford dealer, and the title sponsor for all DSU athletics on Radio Dixie 91.3. It's back to the action for DSU Athletics, brought to you by Ken Garff St. George Ford Lincoln. We now return you to Dixie State Athletics.
Welcome back to the Trailblazer Network here on Radio Dixie 91.3. As I am Mark Kelly, will be on the lone call today here for today's game matchup between Colorado Mesa Mavericks and the Dixie State Trailblazers, as Dixie State leads this game a quick 9-7 lead over Colorado Mesa. As we're getting where there's a penalty against Dixie State. It looks to be a delay of game. I don't understand how there's a delay of game on a kickoff, but it'll be an unsportsmanlike conduct, and it'll be a 15-yard penalty, and it'll back up Dixie State's kicking unit to the 20-yard line. They're on the 35. It will give Colorado Mesa good field position to start off this sixth drive of the half for them. Again, Dixie State leads this game a quick 9-7 over Colorado Mesa as A.J. Jurgensen put his fourth kick of the season through the uprights on a 27-yard attempt, as there's 12:56 left to go in this game. AJ kicks it deep and downfield. It'll be received at about the 22-yard line, and he'll be met up at the 35-yard line. Antonio Clark, no room there really. It'll just be met at the 35-yard line, as that'll be the starting point for Colorado Mesa for their first drive of the second quarter, their sixth drive of the game. We will see what they will do, as it is senior night in Colorado Mesa. Again, they have 16 seniors on this football team. Congratulations to all those players and their accomplishments at Colorado Mesa football. It has not been going the way Colorado Mesa planned for it this season, but there's always room for improvement, as Easton Salem will line up in the backfield, two running backs behind him. He has two receivers to his right and one receiver to his left. Takes a snap, is looking downfield, trying to get away from the pressure, throws it deep, and it is caught. It was caught. No, it was not. As I corrected myself there very quickly, as Darren Jones was on the covers there. He was trying to connect with his top receiver, Pete Anderson, there, as Pete Anderson is a little bit slow to get back to the line of scrimmage, as Easton Salem will look towards the sidelines. Alate Makakuna will line up in the backfield with him, as Colorado Mesa looks to do something on second down and 10. Easton takes a snap. He'll hand it off to his running back, Makakuna, and he'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and nothing there, as it'll be a third down and 10. Wes Moyahi was the first one there to tackle him down. Good tackle there. Him and Shiloh Pritchard there on the stop to make it third down and 11. So far today, Colorado Mesa's only had one conversion on 5 tries. Let's see what they do here. Snap. Easton scrambles outside the pocket, throws it deep, and it is caught. It was caught by receiver number 15, KJ Sapp, his second leading receiver on the team. Being first down and 10 at the 48-yard line. As I am fumbling my words and losing my momentum and point of the game. First down and 10 coming up for this Colorado Mesa team, as he'll hand the ball again to Makakuna. He'll get about gain of 6 on that one, as Charlie Coca was the first guy there to tackle him down. Second down and 4 coming up for this Colorado Mesa team, with 11:25 left to go in this game, as Colorado Mesa trails 9-7 to Dixie State. Easton takes the snap, hands the ball up to Makakuna. He'll be met. No, it was a fake, and it was Easton Salem. He'll get to about the 29-yard line. A gain of 19 on that one, as it'll be a first down and 10. As I was fooled, as the camera went to the running back and not to the quarterback, and I did not see Easton keep the ball there, as he'll hand the ball out to Makakuna this time, and as a flag flies in late, we will see what the call is here on this second down and 10 possibly coming up. Let's hear what the refs have to say. As his mic is not working, so false start was called on Colorado Mesa. Number 7, Marcus Hines, the senior wide receiver, the 6 foot out of Las Vegas, Nevada, was the guilty party. It'll be first down and 15 coming up for Colorado Mesa. 10:50 left to go in this game, as they're trailing 9-7. As something's going on with the live feed, is not working. I wish it would. We are going to try to get Okay, we're going to try to get this back here. Come on. This will be second down and 10 coming up for Colorado Mesa. Second down coming up for Colorado Mesa here. As my live feed is being sketchy. Third down is coming up for Colorado Mesa as it's third down and 6 here for them. Third down and 6 coming up for third down and 16 and a big play. Third down and 16, yep. As it will be an incomplete pass by Easton Salem. He was trying to connect with number 86. Andy Ritter, his leading tight end. It'll be fourth down and 16 on their own 29-yard line as they'll line up for the kick. As it'll be a first down and 10. Flag flies out. Personal foul against Darren Jones. As we make it first down and 10 at the 20-yard line. As it'll be a first down and 10. I'm still getting confusion here. Alrighty then, I got my live feedback here. Second down and 14 coming up for Colorado Mesa as Makakuna went up for 1 yard. It'll be a second down there. Third down and 14 coming up for Colorado Mesa as they're looking to knock on the door. They're at their own 25-yard line. Abraham Reinhardt on the tackle there. A huge third down and 14 coming up here as Easton Salem will take the snap. Is looking downfield, looking, and it'll be incomplete. As that will be an incompletion there. It'll bring up fourth down. We will see what happens here. Fourth down coming up here for Colorado Mesa. As Dixie State will start their own drive here. As the last play was a forced fumble by Shiloh Pritchard. Sorry, Amalu. The live feed is not working that well. I'm trying to work with it as best as I can. Fumble on the play. It was recovered by Shiloh Pritchard, and Dixie State will start their own drive yet again. Be the first down on Dixie State's 17-yard line here. It's Mike Sanders is still the quarterback as they lead this game 9-7 over Colorado Mesa. Again, it is senior night for Colorado Mesa. Alrighty then. I got everything back to working normal here as it'll be a huge third down and 15 coming up for Dixie State. As they're on their own 19-yard line here as we had confusion here in the studio. My apologies about that. Live feed was not working that well, and it stopped me from talking about the football game. Mike Sanders is the quarterback. CJ Luongo line up in the backfield. Yoshikawa is the tight end. Sanders fakes the handoff, throws it deep downfield, and it is incomplete. Almost intercepted there late. Number 27, D'Angelo Lindsay, the junior DB, almost had his first interception of the day. As now it'll be second down and 10 as they're trying to fix their stuff on their side. Colorado Mesa, as it is confusing me here in the studio as I'm trying to get it out to you guys. Second down and 10 coming up for Dixie State here. Hopefully it is with a 9:04 left to go in this second quarter as they're still leading this game 9-7. Sanders looks towards the sideline. Motions over CJ out of the pocket. Throws it quick, and he'll be caught by Casey Allison, and he'll be down at about the 27-yard line. Dixie State will rush to the line. 23-yard line. Sanders looking towards the sideline. Got his signals. He'll line up in an empty backfield. Yoshikawa, Xavier Smith, and DeJuan Dancer to his left. CJ Luongo and Casey Allison to his right as CJ's motioning back into the backfield. Takes the snap. Sanders looking, throws it to CJ. He'll get met at the line of scrimmage and will get nothing there. Possibly lost 2 yards on that one as it'll be fourth down and 6 coming up for Dixie State. As it'll be their sixth punt of the afternoon. Again, this is a low-scoring game to start off. 8 minutes left to go in this second quarter. Sanders trying to get CJ on his own island there, but could not get anything after he was taken down. Josh Carlson lines up for his sixth punt of the day as a flag flies out. KJ Sapp, the punt returner, will get out to about the 37-yard line. 37-yard line. As I'm having all types of confusion in the studio today. We will see what the flag is for as the flag flew down. As we will see what the refs have to say about this. There will be an illegal formation against Dixie State as they'll have to re-punt it. It'll be 4th down and 9 coming up as that is a 5-yard penalty. Dixie State really not going off to the way they would like it. Last game, they were all over the place in the passing game, and it worked and it clicked. This one not going the way they planned it, as it is a slow-moving game as they only lead this game 9-7 with 7:35 left to go in the second quarter. Josh Carlson will line up to re-kick it. And he lost the snap, and he lost the ball. And it was recovered by Dixie State, but it'll be 1st down and 10 for Dixie State in their own, 1st down and 10, 1st down and goal. Let's try to get it right. 1st down and goal for Colorado Mesa on their own 9-yard line. Good field position there. Josh Carlson just lost a snap as he received it. Wasn't an issue with the long snapper. We will try to look at a replay as I'm looking at it right now. No, Carlson just lost a snap. And it was a no-go there as Easton Salem will line this Colorado Mesa offense on the 9-yard line. Hand the ball up to his running back. He'll get up the middle of the screen and will get to about the 2-yard line. Line up in the middle of the screen. Get right up the middle of the field. And we'll get to the 2-yard line, make a 2nd down and goal. As Jonathan Beverly got a gain of 7 on that one. Give it off to him again. And he'll try to get to the goal line. He will be met. No, he will not get there. He'll be met at the 2-yard line again. 3rd down and goal coming up forward. Colorado Mesa, as it is a quick 3rd down and goal here. As they trail this game 9-7 here with 6:48 left to go. Easton lines up in the shotgun, hands the ball to his running back yet again. No, Easton will keep it. He will not get to the goal line as they'll mark him short. As a flag flies in late, we will see what the penalty is on. As most likely it is a unsportsmanlike conduct, but against who is the question. Refs are still talking about it as he will come out to call it now. And it is a sportsmanlike against Colorado Mesa as it'll back him up 15 yards. That'll put him at the 16-yard line. As that is a huge penalty as a 4th down and goal will come up here. It'll be enforced on the field goal as it will be a long 30-yard field goal attempt here.
You're listening to Dixie State Athletics, brought to you by Ken Garff St. George Ford Lincoln at 145 West Hilton Drive in St. George and at stgeorgeford.com. Ken Garff St. George Ford Lincoln, your neighborhood Ford dealer, and the title sponsor for all DSU athletics on Radio Dixie 91.3. It's back to the action for DSU Athletics, brought to you by Ken Garff St. George Ford Lincoln. We now return you to Dixie State Athletics.
Welcome back to Radio Dixie 91.3, as I hope all the technical difficulties I'm having so far are all completely gone. As Dixie State will take over for their 8th drive of the half with 6:10 left to go here as they trail Colorado Mesa 10-9 as there will be on the 25-yard line to start. Trailing 10-9 to Colorado Mesa here. Mike Sanders will be the quarterback coming back out. Again, I do apologize about all the technical difficulties as the line feed is cutting in and out. CJ Luongo will line up in the backfield. Hand the ball to CJ. CJ will get up the middle and will get to about the 32, 33-yard line. Be a gain of 8 on that one as a 2nd down and 2 is coming up. So far, the numbers on him have been fairly okay. Not perfect, but still good numbers by CJ Luongo, who has 75 yards on the ground, about 10 yards in average, and 1 touchdown. As it'll be a 2nd down and 3 as they'll hand it back off to CJ as he'll try to get around the end and will get upfield, and he'll gain about 2 as it'll be a 3rd down and 1 coming up for this Dixie State offense. Easton Smith will check in as quarterback. Casey Allison, Xavier Smith, and DeJuan Dancer are lined up on the right side, as CJ Luongo is lined up on the left. Motions over to Casey to his left. Hands the ball up to CJ. CJ will get up the middle and will get nothing there as it will be a 4th down. Demarin Mitchell, the first one there on the tackle. As Dixie State will send out their punt team yet again. As I said before, they keep trading punts back and forth. This is basically what's all been going on in the first half here. Not the way Dixie State wants to start off their day. Josh Carlson lines up for the punt. It is a deep punt as it will be back at about the 20-yard line and will get out of bounds at the 4-yard line. A great punt there by Josh Carlson. He was on his own 33-yard line and he pinned it at the 4-yard line. That's what you need out of your kicker, and that's the way to grab some momentum in the game. Force Colorado Mesa's offense to be on their own goal line and try to force them to call a different plays to get out of that. As Dixie State's defense will come on downfield. I wouldn't be surprised if they bring the pressure, but I wouldn't also be surprised if they played it kind of safe. Here as Easton Salem will bring out the offense yet again as he has 2 receivers to his right. He has 2 tight ends on the line. Makakuna lines up in the backfield. He'll throw the quick screen and he'll get it to his receiver and he'll be down at about the 16-yard line as they get out of that situation real quick. Dagan Ranks, the tight end, redshirt freshman on the reception there. A good little quick play there by Colorado Mesa as he'll hand it off to Makakuna, his running back. He'll get out to the sideline. He'll truck his way to about the 26-yard line as a flag flies in late. As it will be looks to be against Colorado Mesa. As we will see, it is a holding call against Colorado Mesa. Back him up to the 6-yard line, to about where they originally started this drive. Obvious holding call there. And it will put him in a tight situation as it will be a 1st down and 20 coming up for this Colorado Mesa team. Easton lines up in a shotgun, takes a snap, throws a quick little pass out to his right receiver. He'll get out to about the 22-yard line. Pete Anderson on the reception there was taken down by Alex Lilliard. As will be a 2nd down and 2nd down and 9. There's a good little pass there. He'll get out to his receiver yet again. A deep pass down the field, and he'll get the 1st down. Again, Pete Anderson on the reception. He'll be down at the 31-yard line. 1st down and 10 coming up for this Colorado Mesa team. Quick snap. Colorado Mesa hands the ball off to Makakuna. He'll get away, and he'll get down to about the 40-yard line, about the 50-yard line. Be down at the 47-yard line. Be 1st down and 10 coming up for Colorado Mesa. 1st down and 10 for Colorado Mesa. He'll hand the ball off again to Makakuna. He'll get met at the line of scrimmage. Maybe lost a yard there as Shiloh Pritchard is the one there to meet him up. Shiloh Pritchard and Wes Moyahi on the coverage there and the tackle. As it'll be 2nd down and 11. Easton shovels outside the pocket, throws it, and it'll be caught by his right receiver. He'll step right out of bounds at the 41-yard line a gain of 7, as it will be a third down and 4. As I keep fumbling my words and messing up here in the studio, thinking about too many things. I should just focus on the football game. 1:57 left to go in this game. Dixie State showing the pressure here. Colorado Mesa leads this game 10-9. Dixie State looking for a stop here. Easton looking. Throws it deep down the field, and it is caught by his receiver. Did he get in the end zone? Yes, he did. Pete Anderson on the touchdown reception. They'll make it 16-9 here as Colorado Mesa leads it. A huge play there by Colorado Mesa to go on top. Leading this game 16-9 with 1:50 left to go in this first half. Lucas Ruiz Diaz lines up for the PAT, is 1 for 1 today. Kick is up, and it is good as Colorado Mesa will lead this game 17-9. 1:50 left to go in this first half. As we'll be right back here on Radio Dixie 91.3 after a short break here on the Trailblazer Network.
You're listening to Dixie State Athletics, brought to you by Ken Garff St. George Ford Lincoln at 145 West Hilton Drive in St. George and at stgeorgeford.com. Ken Garff St. George Ford Lincoln, your neighborhood Ford dealer, and the title sponsor for all DSU athletics on Radio Dixie 91.3. It's back to the action for DSU Athletics, brought to you by Ken Garff St. George Ford Lincoln. We now return you to Dixie State Athletics.
Welcome back to Radio Dixie 91.3 as Dixie State trails Colorado Mesa 17-9 with 1:50 left to go in this first half here. Dixie State will try to get a chance to score a touchdown and possibly get within 2 of Colorado Mesa before going into the half. As the kick is high and wide, and Simpson will return it at the 1-yard line. He'll try to get up the field and is down at about the 25 to the 30. And we push out of bounds at the 35-yard line. That's where Dixie State will start their next drive. He'll get out to about the 35-yard line. Be first down and 10. A flag is on the field, as I lost track of that. And it looks to be a holding call against Dixie State. It'll be marked back at the position. The flag flew out, and they'll be at their own 8-yard line. Jesus. Jiminy Crickets. That's a loss of a good amount of yards there, as they'll back them up on their own 8-yard line, as Mike Sanders is still at quarterback. CJ Longo line up in the backfield. Throws a little quick pass to his receiver, and is caught at the 13-yard line as they'll get right back to the line of scrimmage here. Quick offense. Obviously, the time is not on their side, as a timeout was taken here by Colorado Mesa with 1:24 left to go here. A little weird to call a timeout. We're leading by 8. We're leading by 8 here, but I'm not the coach. So it'll be a second down and 5 coming up here. 17-9. Dixie State trails this football game to Colorado Mesa. As it has been a weird first half, mostly been a lot of punts, not many touchdowns. There's only 1 touchdown and 1 field goal by Dixie State, 2 touchdowns and 1 field goal by Colorado Mesa. A low-scoring game, as both teams come into this game as being some of the low-scoring teams in the RMAC. Not known for putting up 53 points a game, known for more kind of a hard-fought 25, 28 to 21 type games, as they'll line up for a second down and 5. This Dixie State offense. Sanders takes the snap, throws it, and it was incomplete, looking for Casey Allison, as it'll be a third down and 5 coming up. Third down and 5 coming up for this Dixie State offense. Can they get this first down here? 1:19 left to go here. Sanders takes the snap, He's looking downfield, throws a huge deep pass down the field, and was it intercepted? No, they're going to say it was out of bounds. As it'll be fourth down. Colorado Mesa all over that one. DeMarion Mitchell, the strong safety on that one, came over the top and almost intercepted it. As they'll mark it out of bounds. Sanders throwing for Casey Allison and just overthrew him there. As it looked like he did step out of bounds. There'll be yet another punt by Josh Carlson here. Carlson gets a snap. Snap is away. Punt is away, It is a huge punt. As it'll be marked down at the 31-yard line. Antonio Clark will get out to about the 39-yard line. And no more than that. A flag down on the field. Unsportsmanlike conduct called against Dixie State, as that is their fourth penalty of the game. Be first down. Obviously for Colorado Mesa, they are in a good position to score more points and put up a bigger score before the end of the half. As it's been a weird, crazy football game so far. I will not lie about that. Line feed troubles, scoring all over the place. A lot of snaps and a lot of punts. As we will try to get the most of the game. As there's 1 minute left in this game here. First down and 10 for Colorado Mesa as they lead this game 17-9. Easton will take the snap. Look downfield, looking, and will find nobody. Throw it out of bounds. It'll be a second down and 10 coming up for Colorado Mesa. 51 seconds left to go here. Again, I do apologize. Having more live feed trouble here. Trying to get the coverage of the game, but the internet's not working with me. As I'm trying to get my live coverage back here. Sadly, it's not going the way I want it. But I can only do what I can. But it possibly is. As I'm looking at live stats here, 17 seconds left to go in this game. As Dixie State will take their drive and probably will just kneel it and go into the half here. Not much you can do with 17 seconds, though you have 3 timeouts. As I do apologize about the feed and incidents going on in this game. Halftime has approached. Colorado Mesa leads this game 17-9 over Dixie State. We will see what Dixie State can do to make some changes in this second half. Possibly get into this football game. They will receive the second half kickoff as we will go to break here. We'll be right back in a few minutes here on Radio Dixie 91.3.
Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ed Council.
You're listening to Dixie State Athletics, brought to you by Ken Garff St. George Ford Lincoln at 145 West Hilton Drive in St. George and at stgeorgeford.com. Ken Garff St. George Ford Lincoln, your neighborhood Ford dealer, and the title sponsor for all DSU athletics on Radio Dixie 91.3. It's back to the action for DSU Athletics, brought to you by Ken Garff St. George Ford Lincoln. We now return you to Dixie State Athletics.
Welcome back to Radio Dixie 91.3 here on the Trailblazer Network. I do apologize again. I send my condolences to the fact that we had some trouble with the live feed earlier today. It was not working correctly, but we believe we got it all settled and square. So we're going to get back to football here as it is at halftime here between Colorado Mesa and Dixie State. Colorado Mesa leading this game 17-9 over Dixie State. A good fought football game between both teams. Really low scoring and not a great lot of numbers, as both teams are only combined for 17 first downs in the first half. Colorado Mesa having 67 yards on the ground and 170 yards through the air. Dixie State having 75 yards on the ground and 153 yards through the air. Both quarterbacks are struggling just a little bit. Mike Sanders has been playing couple snaps. Hasn't been perfect, but he's been playing fairly well. 13 of 18 for for 153 yards, and 72% of his passes have been completed, while Easton Salem is 9 of 18, 50%, 178 yards, and 2 touchdowns. And those 2 touchdowns are the big difference in this game between both teams. Obviously, they're not going away. Dixie State wants it to go as they're trailing this game, but there's still a lot of time for them to get back into this football game and possibly pull another second-half comeback. They're known for that this season. They've been down in most of their games this season, and for the most part, they've been able to come back in those games and get the win. We will see if that works this time. Maybe so, maybe not. We will see that later in the game here. Let's take a look at some RMAC scores that went on today. I did mention them earlier in the pregame show. Western Colorado will get their second win of the year after beating Black Hill State 28-6. It drops Black Hill State 2-7 on the year. Angelo State University beat up on Adams State 59-20. Adams State goes 4-5 on the year. Chadron State goes 6-2 on their record as they win a close game over New Mexico Highlands 43-38. Colorado State Pueblo stays in the hunt for the RMAC championship as they'll go 8-1 on the year after beating Fort Lewis 39-0, getting their second shutout of the season. And Colorado School Mines will stay perfect as well in their hunt and perfect on their own record as they'll go 9-0 on the year. They win their game 84-42 over South Dakota Mines. Not even a close game in that one. And that is a huge win for them. Again, let's look at the standings so far. Obviously, Dixie State falling out of it just a bit after losing their last two. After only winning one of their last 3 games, losing 2 of those games. They lost one to Grand Valley State 35-14 and lost last week to Chadron State 30-18. Not looking so great, but maybe they can get back in the hunt. Maybe they can't. We will see as they now sit at 5-2 in conference record. They're in 4th in the RMAC standings. Colorado School Mines and CSU Pueblo are still the top dogs in RMAC conference, and looks like they're going to go to conference championship. Maybe some luck happens. Maybe something happens. I don't know. Maybe the gods and miracles can happen. But right now they're sitting in 4th. Chadron State is above them at a 6-2 record. 6-2 overall in RMAC play. Against CSU Pueblo, it's 7-1 in conference play, 8-1 overall. And Colorado School Mines is 8-0 in conference play and 9-0 overall in their overall record. We will see what happens later in the season. Obviously, Colorado Mesa out of the competition for the RMAC. They sit at 3-4 in conference play and 4-4 in overall record. They've lost their last 2 games. It all depends on what happens from here, but maybe something can go crazy and wacky happens again, but I don't see that happening at all. So it's good to see Dixie State still stay in the fight. Maybe we can finish out the year on a good overall winning record. We will see from that as well. We're going to take a quick break here. I know I've taken a lot of breaks, but we're going to take a quick break right here. Be right back. We're going to look at some more stats and give you some scores from the Big Ten College Football here on Radio Dixie 91.3.
You're listening to Dixie State Athletics, brought to you by Ken Garff St. George Ford Lincoln at 145 West Hilton Drive in St. George and at stgeorgeford.com. Ken Garff St. George Ford Lincoln, your neighborhood Ford dealer, and the title sponsor for all DSU athletics on Radio Dixie 91.3. It's back to the action for DSU Athletics, brought to you by Ken Garff St. George Ford Lincoln. We now return you to Dixie State Athletics.
Welcome back to Radio Dixie 91.3 here on Radio Dixie 91.3. As I'm just repeating myself there, that is pointless, but we are going to get you more scores and updates as we get into this game. Again, Colorado Mesa leads this game 17-9 over Dixie State. They are winning this game again 17-9. It is at halftime here. What about a little bit longer of a halftime because of the senior night here at Colorado Mesa? So they're going to take a little bit there, but let's get you a little scores not from the RMAC. I already gave you the scores from the RMAC. What's the point of giving you some more scores from the RMAC? We're going to give you some scores around from Dixie State here as the volleyball team won last night against Colorado Christian 3-0. The men's soccer team went up against Colorado Christian today, and they won that game 1-0. the women's soccer team, played home today against Western Colorado as it was their final regular season home game of the season. They won that game big, 4-0. They have a quarterfinal matchup next week. We'll find out more about that matchup and get you more word on that, as the Daily Sports Report will be brought to you by the Spectrum, and it'll be on Monday. So listen for that. The women's volleyball team won a close game today over Regis. They won that game 3-2. That is some scores going around Dixie State here at Dixie State University. Again, Colorado Mesa leading this football game 17-9. I'm sorry if I sound a little unenthusiastic. It's just, it's kind of hard to watch the football team lose, and you gotta let it out. But let's hope they can come back in this second half here. Some news going around Dixie State here. If you don't know about it, Daya will be here on November 2nd. It'll be our homecoming concert. We are going to be giving away tickets all week next week. So if you want to get some tickets, call into some shows and win those prizes, as next week is homecoming week, as there will be a chaos night, true trailblazer, drive-in movies on Friday. They will be showing Incredibles 2 and Mission Impossible Fallout at the old airport. A lot of other things are going to be going on. Oh, also, if you heard my little segment on Friday, Oscar Mayer is going to be having a challenge here on radio here at Dixie State University. They are going to be in the Gardner Center Ballroom, big lawn in front of that. They're going to be trying to set a record by blowing the most Oscar Mayer Little Wiener whistles at the same time. I guess it's going to be a great thing there. That is going on there. Also, there is a car show at the South Invitational Field on Monday at the Plaza Field. If you guys want to come out and see that, Radio Dixie will be there, as in me. I'll be there live, doing a live broadcast there. I'll be walking around, checking out the cars, and giving a live broadcast of that. So listen to that on Radio Dixie 91.3. That's going to be from 6 to 8. So listen for that, and let's have a lot of fun there. We're going to take another timeout here, but when we come back, we are going to get you we're going to get you caught up with some scores from big-time college football, and possibly have the second half coming up here on Radio Dixie 91.3.
You're listening to Dixie State Athletics, brought to you by Ken Garff St. George Ford Lincoln at 145 West Hilton Drive in St. George and at stgeorgeford.com. Ken Garff St. George Ford Lincoln, your neighborhood Ford dealer, and the title sponsor for all DSU athletics on Radio Dixie 91.3. It's back to the action for DSU Athletics, brought to you by Ken Garff St. George Ford Lincoln. We now return you to Dixie State Athletics.
Welcome back to Radio Dixie 91.3, as we still have live coverage of the football game of Colorado Mesa Mavericks versus Dixie State Trailblazers, as the Mavericks lead this game 17-9 at the halftime here. Some big-time college scores from the college football world today. A lot of things happened today, but more in the sense that it is becoming a good season for college football today, and it is going to get even better as some games are underway right now. Syracuse leading number 22 ranked NC State 44-41. Number 3rd ranked Notre Dame winning big over their arch rival Navy 37-14. Oklahoma State still leads Texas 31-14 as Texas tries to keep their college football hopes alive. Arizona and Oregon just got underway. Some scores from some big-time schools today include number 2, Clemson, going all over the place with Florida State, 59-10. They stay undefeated in the ACC and their overall record. They go 8-0 on the year. Number 7, Georgia beats up on their rival, number 9. Georgia beats up number 9, Florida. 36-17. That game was big for them. The underdog of the whole year, the story of the year, truly, number 12, Kentucky, mostly a basketball school, but somehow has been able to pull off a great college football season so far. They won their game so close to Missouri. They won their game 15-14 on the last touchdown on the final play of the game. This was a good one all the way down to the wire. They win this game 15-14. They'll go 7-1 on the year and 5-1 in the SEC. They're going to try to keep their hopes alive and try to stay in the hunt for their conference championship. Number 17, Penn State lost to won to number 18, Iowa. They won that game 30-24, trying to keep their hopes alive to get back into the college football playoff picture, but I think they're just about over. Northwestern pulling out the upset today. Really not much of an upset as people say it is, but still an upset considering it's a Big Ten rival. They beat number 20, Wisconsin, 31-17. It pushes Northwestern to 5-1 on their overall record in Big Ten. That was a good one there. Also, another game between Western Virginia and Baylor as Western Virginia tries to get back in the hunt for the for the college football playoffs. They won their game huge over Baylor, 58-14. Baylor still feeling the reps of those sanctions on their team, so they're going to be in the basement for a while. But a great game between those teams. Again, the best game of the day so far was a Kentucky versus Missouri. And now another great one going on between Syracuse and NC State. Syracuse have the ball and they're driving to score a touchdown on that one. Let's see. Teams are coming back out, but there's still about 4 minutes until the start of the second half here. We're going to take a couple more timeouts here and be right back with the live coverage of the start of the second half between the Colorado Mesa Mavericks and the Dixie State Trailblazers here on Radio Dixie 91.3.
That counts.
You're listening to Dixie State Athletics, brought to you by Ken Garff St. George Ford Lincoln at 145 West Hilton Drive in St. George and at stgeorgeford.com. Ken Garff St. George Ford Lincoln, your neighborhood Ford dealer, and the title sponsor for all DSU athletics on Radio Dixie 91.3. It's back to the action for DSU Athletics, brought to you by Ken Garff St. George Ford Lincoln. We now return you to Dixie State Athletics.
Welcome back to Radio Dixie 91.3 as we are going to get live coverage of the second half between Colorado Mesa and Dixie State University here as Colorado Mesa leads this game 17-9 at halftime. We have about just a couple minutes until the start of the second half. If you missed most of this game, I'll catch you up just a little bit. Colorado Mesa leads this game 17-9. At first, Dixie State was leading this game 6-0 after a 61-yard touchdown run by C.J. Luongo. We missed the point after tee on Colorado Mesa's third drive of the first half. Easton Salam threw it down to Pete Anderson. Pete Anderson caught it in the end zone for a touchdown to make it 7-6, a lead that Colorado Mesa held on until the second quarter, where on Dixie State's few drives in the second quarter, they went up 9-7, leading Colorado Mesa. And after that, the floodgates started to open just a little bit. Colorado Mesa put a touchdown and a field goal to go up just about 8 in this first half as they lead this game 17-9. Some numbers from both teams. Team-wise, Dixie State leads them in rushing yards 75-67. Passing yards, Colorado Mesa leads us 178-153. No turnovers really by any teams. Penalty-wise, it has been hurting both teams just a little bit more towards Dixie State as they have 6 penalties for 68 yards. Colorado Mesa only has 3 penalties for 23 yards. Not good numbers for them at all. Hopefully both teams can clean up. Before the end of the second quarter. Before the end of the game here, as we are now going to get live coverage of the start of the second half between Colorado Mesa and Dixie State here. Colorado Mesa will line up to kick it back to Dixie State, and Dixie State will get the first drive of the second half. Again, if you're just tuning in, you didn't miss much in the first half, though Colorado Mesa leads this game. It was a bit of a struggle fight between both teams, not much of a true leader. It was more of a tug and pull between both teams. I had problems on my own side. I was having live coverage problems, and I was going nuts in the studio. I'm like, nah. So hopefully all those problems have been settled. Colorado Mesa makes sure their live coverage is perfect. I can get the play-by-play to you guys, and you guys can be like, hey, that was a good game. So that's all my goal is when I do play-by-play. Hopefully it works. Maybe not. Maybe so. That's how football works. You just got to go with the punches. That's it. So we will see what Dixie State can do on their first drive of the second half as they are trailing Colorado Mesa 17-9 here as the start of the second half will start any minute now. As Colorado Mesa Luis kicks it downfield and a huge kickoff. It'll be received by Simpson on the 3-yard line. He'll return it out. He'll get out to the sideline, to the 40, to the 45-yard line. A great reception there by Simpson to give Dixie State a good start on their field position. As an injured player is down, and it looks like Xavier Smith, the slot receiver on the team, is down after that kickoff return. May have got just hit at the end of the play as it did go towards the sideline there. Hopefully he's all right. It will not stop play as he'll get off the sideline and get checked out by the trainers. First down and 10 for Dixie State. As we're waiting for something, I'm not very sure what. As now the refs will blow the whistle and we'll get this second half started. Mike Sanders is still the quarterback. Yoshikawa goes in motion to the right. Hands the ball to Seiji. Seiji will try to get the middle and we'll get nothing there. We'll get back in the line of scrimmage. It will be a second down and 10 coming up for Dixie State. Of course, the lone touchdown for Dixie State today was by Seiji Luongo. Had an amazing run. First play of the game for Dixie State was a 60-yard touchdown run by Seiji. That's been about it by Seiji as he's had about 15 yards after that. A slow day for him. Mike Sanders fakes the handoff and almost caught by Casey Allison as he dropped it late. It will be a third down and 10 coming up for Dixie State. No, they're going to say he had the ball and he was down, and it is a possible third down and 4. As the refs are having a discussion, and yes, they'll call that. Casey Allison caught the ball and he was down on the 49-yard line. A crazy, wacky play there as Mike Sanders faked the ball towards Seiji, and Casey had it. And yes, he did have it as he went down to the ground. Third down and 4 coming up for Dixie State. Seiji Luongo line up in the backfield. Sanders takes the snap. Looking, throws it, and it is caught. Caught by DeJuan Dancer. He'll get out to the 30, to the 20, to the 10. He'll get out to the sideline. He'll be down at the 6-yard line. A good start to this drive. DeJuan Dancer having the 40, who got out about the 8, so 40-yard reception there as it'll be a first down and goal for Dixie State. Dixie State 1 for 1 in the red zone today as they hand the ball to Seiji. Seiji try to get up the middle and will get about 2 yards on that one. Be second down and goal coming up for this Dixie State offense. They are 1 for 1 today with a field goal. No touchdown though. We will see if Mike Sanders can finally get a touchdown in the red zone as they were unsuccessful to do it last week. Can they get the touchdown that he's been so longing for in the red zone? As Dixie State brings out the jumbo set, fakes the handoff to Seiji, throws it to the end zone. Is it caught for a touchdown? They are ruling. Yes, it will be a touchdown. Trailblazers, DeJuan Dantzler. That will be his third touchdown of the year. Excuse me, I was trying to grab that sheet with all the stats of the players. Third touchdown of the season for DeJuan Dantzler. 15-17 as Dixie State trails with a pending PAT right here. No, I'm wrong about that. They're not going for a PAT here. They're going to go for the 2 points to tie the game. Sanders is quarterback. DeJuan Dantzler goes in motion. Runs outside the pocket, throws it to the end zone. It is caught. Caught by Casey Allison. We have a tied ball game. A quick tie there to make it 17-all as there's 12:35 left to go on the clock here. We're going to take a quick timeout. Be right back with more on Trailblazer Network here on Radio Dixie 91.3.
It's back to the action for DSU Athletics, brought to you by Ken Garff St. George Ford Lincoln. We now return you to Dixie State Athletics.
Welcome back to Radio Dixie 91.3 as we have live coverage of the game between Colorado Mesa Mavericks and the Dixie State Trailblazers here on Radio Dixie 91.3. It is all tied up at 17 here as Dixie State went down and scored the game-tying touchdown, went for the 2 points and made it tied up. 12:35 left to go, and A.J. Jurgensen kicks it downfield for a good long kickoff. It'll be returned at about the 10-yard line. Antonio Clark takes it out to about the 19-yard line, and that's where Colorado Mesa will start their next drive. Colorado Mesa will come out for their first drive of the second half. Tied up 17 at all, and there is a flag on the play. Let's see what this is all about. As the refs gather up, tell the head ref, hey, there's a flag on the play. False start is against the kickoff team of Dixie State. That'll be a 5-yard penalty. And instead of being at about, no, they'll re-kick it. They will re-kick the football, and A.J. Jurgensen will come out to kick it off yet again. Again, this game is tied up at 17 at all with 12:26 left to go in this third quarter. Hopefully, no penalties on this kickoff. No penalties on this kickoff. Hopefully, everybody is in check. A.J. Jurgensen lines up for the kick. As I have run out of things to talk about during those little short breaks, as I'll find things to talk about. A.J. Jurgensen kicks it off yet again. And we receive at about the 19-yard line. Clark will try to get it out. He got a good lane. Their flag flies out. He'll be down to the 40, to the 30. Just has Jurgensen a beat. He beats him. 10-5 touchdown. Colorado Mesa. Antonio Clark. Will it stand, though? There was a flag that flew out. Is this against Mesa or against Dixie State? And will they have to re-kick it again? A legal block in the back will come against Colorado Mesa. And they will not have to re-kick it. It'll be a first down and 10 for Colorado Mesa. So Dixie State gets away there as there was poor coverage on that one. Antonio Clark beat everybody and Jurgensen to walk into the touchdown. It would have been a 76-yard touchdown, but it'll come back to the 29-yard line, and that's where Colorado Mesa will start their next drive. Easton Salam is the quarterback. He has 2 receivers to his left, 1 receiver to his right. As he has been iffy today, he's been 50% on his passes. As he looks, he will throw it to the sideline, and was caught by his leading receiver, Pete Anderson, for a gain of 6. Second down and 4 coming up. That has been the bread and butter for Colorado Mesa today, as they've been throwing mostly a lot of short passes, trying to eat a lot more field than they think. As Easton will hand it off to his running back, Makakuna, and will get nothing there. Maybe got a yard as Abraham Reinhardt and Anthony Yarborough were there on the stop. Makakuna. I keep saying his name wrong. I'm going to say it right one time. Easton looks towards the sideline. Easton takes a snap. Looking. Steps outside the pocket. Decides to run, and he'll get the first down and more. And he'll be down at about the 41-yard line. Make it a first down and 10 coming up for Colorado Mesa. 7:10 left to go in this football game. Colorado Mesa leads at 45-24. Easton throws it, and it is caught by his receiver, Corbin Colby. He'll be down at about the 36-yard line. It'll be first down and 10. First down and 10, and the clock is still running. 6:40 left to go in the football game. Easton hands it off again to Jonathan. He'll get up the middle of the field, and he'll get a good gain. He'll get to about the 48-yard line, a gain of 12, and it'll be yet another first down for Colorado Mesa. First down and 10 coming up for Colorado Mesa yet again. They lead this game 45-24, 6:10 left to go. Easton hands it off to his running back, Beverly, and it was taken down behind the line of scrimmage. He'll lose a gain of 3. He'll lose 3 yards. That'll be a second down and 13. Clock still runs as there's 5:40 left to go on the clock. Colorado Mesa completely trying to put this game away. 45-24, Colorado Mesa leads with 5:18 left to go. He hands the ball off to Beverly yet again. And he'll be met in the backfield yet again. Malaki on the tackle right there. It'll be third down and about 20. A huge loss there. But as the clock still runs, it is not in favor of Dixie State. 4:45 left to go in the football game. Third down and 20. Easton takes the snap, throws a little wide receiver screen, and he'll be met in the backfield. No, he'll get away. And he'll be down at about the 47-yard line on the other side of the field. Was it enough for a first down? I don't believe it was. As it'll be fourth down and 4 coming up. Will Colorado Mesa go for it or not? They're about to decide. With 3:56 left to go in this game, they are going to go for it and try to put this game away right here, right now. Fourth down and 4 coming up. Easton takes a snap, looking downfield, throws it down, deep downfield, and it is intercepted. Intercepted by Jalen Moore, but there's a flag thrown on the play. And it will obviously be a encroachment by Dixie State as there was a few players on the other side of the line. First down and 10 coming up for Colorado Mesa. First down and 10 for Easton and the Colorado Mesa offense. The clock still runs with 3:20 left to go here. They still lead this game 45-24. Hands the ball up to Makakuna. He'll get out to the line. He'll get to about the 19-yard line. Excuse me, that was Trey Winham. And he'll get out to about the 19-yard line. 3 minutes left to go. The clock stops here. As the chain game moves it, and the clock will continue to run. 2:50 left to go. 2:40 left to go. 45-24, first down and 10 for this offense. It'll be second down and 7 coming up. As Trey Winham will be the back in the game. 2 minutes left to go in this football game. As Colorado Mesa still tries to work down this clock. Second down and 7, 1:50 left to go. Easton hands the ball off to Winham again. He'll get up the middle and we'll get a gain about 2 on that one. As it'll be third down and 5 coming up. Clock still runs, 1:30 left to go. As this game's all but wrapped up. As Colorado Mesa leads this game by 3 touchdowns over Dixie State, 45-24. As it looks like Colorado Mesa will take a timeout. Not sure why, but that is the case. Third down and 5 coming up. Third down and 6 coming up. 1:29 left to go on the clock. As Colorado Mesa looks to finish off Dixie State here as they lead this game by 3 touchdowns. 45-24, 1:16 left to go. Now 1 minute. Third down and 6. Easton hands the ball off yet again to Winham. He'll get up the line and we'll get to about the 7-yard line. Was it enough for the first down? We're about to see. He looks to be short, but it will not matter as there's only 30 seconds left to go in this football game. They'll just run it down as far as they can on the clock and run one more play. Hands the ball to Winham. He'll get the first down and more. He'll be down at about the 2-yard line. And that will be it. 5 seconds left to go. 4, 3, 2, 1. This game is over. As Colorado Mesa will win their 5th game of the season on senior night over Dixie State, 45-24. Dixie State will go 5-4 on the year. Colorado Mesa will go there as well. Dixie State will drop to 5-3 on the RMAC record, while Colorado Mesa will go 4-4. Thank you for tuning in to another football game. We'll be right here. We'll be right back here on Radio Dixie 91.3 for the Trailblazer postgame show right afterwards here on Radio Dixie 91.3.
Donate stuff.
You're listening to
create
Dixie
jobs.
State Athletics, brought to you by Ken Garff St. George Ford Lincoln at 145 West Hilton Drive in St. George and at stgeorgeford.com. Ken Garff St. George Ford Lincoln, your neighborhood Ford dealer, and the title sponsor for all DSU athletics on Radio Dixie 91.3. It's back to the action for DSU athletics, brought to you by Ken Garff St. George Ford Lincoln. We now return you to Dixie State Athletics.
Welcome to the Trailblazer post-game show here on Radio Dixie 91.3 as we are here live in the studio after the football game between Colorado Mesa and Dixie State went final. Colorado Mesa wins this game 45-24, dropping Dixie State to 5-4 on the year, pushing Colorado Mesa to 5-4 on their record, pushing Dixie State to 5-3 overall on their RMAC record. And Colorado Mesa goes for 4-4 in their RMAC record as well. Right to the stats in this football game. Not very, very, very much favored towards Colorado Mesa in most of the categories. Colorado Mesa had more first downs with 25-16. More rushing attempts. That doesn't really matter. But 255 yards on the ground for them as Colorado Mesa out-muscled Dixie State. They only had 86 yards on the ground. Dixie State did have more yards through the air, 355-303, but it was just not enough. Plus a couple interceptions and a couple fumbles by Dixie State cost them mostly the game. Penalties as well, as they had 15 penalties for 133 yards and almost 10 punts in this game. Did not help this team at all. As again, they'll drop them to 5-4 on the record and make Mesa 5-4 on their record as well. Let's get you a couple updates from the RMAC as scores from earlier today. Western Colorado beat Black Hills State 28-6, pushing Western to their record of 2-7. Angelo State beat Adams State 59-20, drops Adams State to 4-5. Chadron State has started a comeback late in their season. They're trying to get into the RMAC championship as they will win that game 43-38 over New Mexico Highlands. A good football game there. And the two runaways with the RMAC conference right now, Colorado State Pueblo won their game over Fort Lewis 39-0, and Colorado School Mines won their game to stay undefeated over South Dakota State 84-42. As the standings show, Colorado Mesa and Colorado School Mines in charge of that, as Colorado School Mines is 8-0, 9-0 on their record. CSU Pueblo is 8-1 and 7-1 in RMAC. Their second. Chadron State is 6-2 and 6-2 in their records. And Dixie State drops to 5-4 and 5-3 in their record, as they'll stay in fourth in the RMAC. But just this was the game in the nail of the coffin for them to get to the RMAC championship game. They'll be out, as they're now out of the competition. But they still have 2 games left on their schedule, as they'll play Colorado School Mines next week for the homecoming game. That game will be on at 1 o'clock here on Radio Dixie 91.3. I will have the call for that. Hopefully I have a color commentator to help me with that game. Hopefully McKinney or James or somebody else can help me with that game. That'd be very appreciative. Player of the game. I would have to say player of the game has to be Ace Salam from Colorado Mesa. Had himself a good game today. Was 18 of 30 with 303 yards with 3 touchdowns. From Dixie State, I would have to say is Mike Sanders. He was 25 of 37, 355 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Not a bad game by him. You could also say DeJuan Dantzler and CJ Luongo, who all had pretty good games. DeJuan Dantzler had 11 receptions, 187 yards, and 1 touchdown, and an amazing catch late in the fourth quarter. A one-handed catch behind his head, almost like from Dallas. I know he had a catch like that last season, but you can kind of compare it to like DeAndre Hopkins or Odell Beckham Jr. type catches like that. That was an amazing catch. CJ Luongo, who had the first touchdown of the game, had 106 yards on the ground and 1 touchdown, but considering the fact that we had a lot of players who had minus yards, that did not help the runs numbers as well. So he lost a good amount of that in his coverage. So That is that. Thank you for tuning in for another football game here on Radio Dixie 91.3. Again, Colorado Mesa beats Dixie State 45-24. Puts Colorado Mesa 5-4 on their record, 4-4 in RMAC play, and pushes Dixie State to 5-4 on their overall record and 5-3 in RMAC play. Thank you for listening, and have yourselves a good night.
You've been listening to Dixie State Athletics on Radio Dixie 91.3, brought to you by Ken Garv St. George Ford Lincoln. For more information on Dixie State Athletics, DixieStateAthletics.com. Thanks for listening to Radio Dixie 91.3.